Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Thanks to TriBooth, the best vocal booth for home or on-the-road voice recording. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And don't forget that code, TRIPAP200 for $200 discount on your TriBooth. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Now, a different kind of microphone is the shotgun, which is kind of handy if you're in a not-so-perfect situation. But a lot of people are recording and doing voiceovers from places that they probably shouldn't. So do you fix it in the mix, or do you get your shit together in the beginning?
Got to get your shit together in the beginning. Don't think there's any question, really.
Well, do you want to tell your client that you're not where you should be, or do you want to try to hide it, or do you want to just fess up to it? Because I think that
hide it. Well,
then obviously you're going to get really good at whatever it is, isotope and waves, clarity, and there's some new stuff from Acorn, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I call recording from the road like the black belt of audio recording, because you really have to know all the tools and all the techniques to pull it off and have it still sound as close as possible to a studio recording. It's not easy unless you have a lot of experience.
But you work any of those things too hard and you're going to hear it. You know, that's the thing. You can hire the best audio engineer in the world, but if you stand in the middle of a bathroom with an open microphone, there's only so much you can clean up before you start hearing the whole "it's lost a bit of fidelity" thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, only the voiceover bodysuit is designed for this.
Yes, well, that's the thing,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You know, exactly. I mean, think once the Passport VO's out, that's the next project, is the Pro Audio Suite bodysuit.
Yeah.
Every plugin that has to do some kind of an algorithm or a digital filter to the audio to remove something causes an artifact at some point.
Even on a subtle level, it takes a little bit of life and reality away to it, and it approaches more of what is probably eventually going to be known as like an AI sort of sound.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I'm already used to RX10 voice to noise. I know what it sounds like. I'm immediately always turning it down. Someone's like, I use this plugin, and I'm like, 12 dB of reduction's too much, man. I can hear it.
You can always tell when people choke down on the signal too much, and what happens is they start listening to their own stuff, and they don't like always reference back to the original to see how much you've improved it, because you can overdo it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
People apply this stuff blindly. They don't really have a critical ear. And of course, it's harder to even have a critical ear when you're traveling. Again, henceforth, the black belt reference. It's a lot harder to get that same sound consistently when you're on the move.
True. But the thing that does, that's noise reduction. But the thing for me that does more damage is d-reverb. D-reverb is so destructive. Like, just let's call it a quarter turn for whatever you're on. And I reckon you start hearing it.
And which one is that? Like in particular, because there's the wave
plenty of them,
VX,
but I don't know of any that will deal with serious room reverb and do it cleanly.
No, this is the way all these plugins are, guys. The more the more in your mind you're thinking, I really need this plugin, the worse it's going to sound.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
And then you run them together, run some noise reduction and d-reverb and see what happens. That's just like death. It's awful.
Sandy grain. Yeah, it just takes the...
And you have to run them in the right sequence, too. Like if you got to run multiple reduction tools, they have to be run in the right way, the right sequence.
Agreed.
It's not straightforward. Like I set up, there's a television personality here in the States named David Pogue, and we set up his home studio with what was the minimal, I think, treatment you could get away with, right? It's a decent-sized home office, high ceiling. I didn't want it to look like a studio with, stuff covering everything. So we did what we could to still have it look like a nice space to be in. In the end, it still had some reverb. And so when I showed him how to use Clarity VX d-reverb, he was thrilled because we had already dealt with 95% of the reverb, right? It was already really good. but there was still a tail. You still had some room tail that was there. So then when he used the Clarity VX d-reverb, it sounded amazing. And he was thrilled. And he's like, I use it on everything. I use it on everything now that I do. And that's because we did our due diligence to get rid of as much of it as possible. And that's how all these plugins that modify the original, audio using algorithms and AI, that's how they all have to work. Now, the AI stuff is a whole different kind of a ball game. So the ability to do it with less artifacts is definitely becoming a thing. That's why I think the Clarity VX d-reverb is so good, because it's based on machine learning.
Yeah.
But you still can't have a room with a reverb tail of 2 or 3 seconds and just make it sound like a dead studio.
No, I've heard people try, though. That's the thing. Yeah, I've heard people try.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah, just crazy.
It's funny. Obviously we all look at social media and you see posts from voice talent in their so-called booth or their part of the room where they record, and that was a thing that I was looking at the other day, and I saw one and I thought, God, how the hell does that work? Or are they just getting away with it? I don't know. But then that was why I thought, well, I might as well just set up out here. And I mean, this is not ideal by any means. The only thing I've got really in front of me is a couple of those Auralex Gobo kind of panels. Mm-hmm. But I've got a hard desk. I'm on a concrete floor. My actual, all my outboard gear and everything in screens are to my left. And there's no treatment in this room at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky in the beginning, though, that you were in such a quiet location to begin with. I know the rooms.
Because like the right mic and the right placement, you can get away with the acoustics. You can do a lot. But
yeah,
noise, you're immediately having to use tools that are going to leave their impression on it. I would say that whoever is doing this, until you are so confident with it, figure out how to also record a clean, unprocessed track while you're doing the session.
Well, at least, as clean as you possibly can before you start dialing in noise reduction and d-reverbs and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, somehow capture it both processed. If you need to deliver it processed, but capture onto your hard drive just your microphone.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about this little Tula mic. Remember I did the appearance a few weeks ago from my folks' house, a little cute green
little flip mic. It's like a kind of...
I'm holding it now. That thing can record through the Bruce-free noise reduction algorithm and dry simultaneously to its internal memory or through the USB. So you get both the dry and the noise reduction version of everything you do.
Wow.
Which is awesome.
That's cool.
That makes it something I would feel way more comfortable using in the field. Not that it's an amazing mic. I would probably pick a better mic, but still the idea that was thought of is really brilliant.
I think Michael's going to have that next week with the Portcaster AI. Isn't it going to have the D-reverb and the D-noise knob?
I don't know. Is this a scoop? I hadn't heard about that yet.
It needs to go in a little baggie, but yes, it's a scoop.
Wow.
Okay.
No, I don't think we're getting the AI chip on our interface, but yeah.
No, we're going purist. The Passport VO is purist.
It is. And Absolutely. So it should be. Yeah. So anyway, what's the wash up on this one? Just make sure that you have the best space possible, which we always say, and then
get as close to perfection as you can, and then use it with some restraint, I guess, is the word.
And consider capturing a unprocessed version, just in case.
And yes, I know. Yes. I know that us audio engineers get this stuff and slap reverb all over it, but it's different.
That's right. But I've already got reverb on it for you. You don't have to worry about that bit. No, that's an echo chamber. Yeah, exactly. And don't use Robert's setup for your voiceovers, whatever you do, for God's sake.
And on that note, thanks for joining us this week. It's been a great show.
Thank you, Mr. Letterman.
Yes, and thank you, Rode.
Oh, my gosh.
It only took us 3 years to find these glowing buttons.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to TriBooth, and Austrian Audio, recorded using Source Connect, edited by Andrew Peters, and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging, with tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.